Ask 10 people why they love everyday carry, and you'll probably get 10 completely different answers. One person loves knives, another loves flashlights, someone loves backpacks. Some people couldn't care less about the gear. They just like being prepared. And that's what I find fascinating about everyday carry. Because underneath all the titanium, the steel, the flashlights, the pens, we're all here for a different reason. So today, I want to talk about us. Welcome back to EDC For Beginners. I'm Mikey from Mikeydailycarry. This podcast exists because I believe everyday carry is about a lot more than buying gear. It's about understanding why we carry gear in the first place. Today's episode isn't going to help you decide which knife to buy. Instead, I hope it helps you understand why this hobby has a way of grabbing people and never really letting go. Because once you understand why you're here, that becomes much easier. When I first got into EDC, I assumed everyone was chasing the same thing. The next knife, the next flashlight, the next cool piece of gear. Then I started this YouTube journey. I went to trade shows, blade shows, SHOT Show, maker meetups. I started talking to designers, collectors, military veterans, first responders, parents, mechanics, teachers, people from completely different walks of life. And something clicked. Almost nobody was in this hobby for the exact same reason, yet somehow we all ended up in the same community. I think that's pretty incredible. Let's start with the most obvious group. Some people simply love tools, not because they're expensive, not because they're tactical, they just appreciate something that's built well. You hand them a beautifully machined flashlight, they'll admire it. Give them a smooth opening knife, they'll smile. It's the same reason someone appreciates a quality watch, or a nice camera, or a handcrafted leather wallet. It's craftsmanship, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Then there are the people who honestly don't care what brand something is. They don't know the blade steel, they couldn't tell you the lumens, they probably don't know who designed the knife. What they care about is that when I need it, it works. They're not collectors, they're not problem solvers, they're the people who quietly pull out a flashlight during a power outage. The ones who always have a pen, the friend who has a charger when everyone else's phones or electronics are dying. Their satisfaction doesn't come from owning gear, it comes from helping people out. And honestly, I think that's one of the coolest reasons to enjoy EDC. Now let's talk about another type of person. The hunter, not the outdoors hunter, the gear hunter. These are the people constantly refreshing the websites on launch day, joining raffles, watching countdown timers, hoping to snag a limited edition before it sells out. And if you're smiling right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes the fun isn't even the gear, it's the chase, the excitement, finally finding that one piece of gear that you've been looking for that's been sold out for months. The longer I've been around this community, the more I've realized people just don't collect gear. They collect stories. This was my first knife. My dad gave me this flashlight. I bought this after my first promotion. I carry this on deployment. I took this backpack on every single vacation. Suddenly, it's not just a knife anymore. It's a memory, and that's something money can't replace. So where do I fit into all of this? Honestly, a little bit of everywhere. I love reviewing gear. I love trying new products. I genuinely appreciate great design. But if I'm being honest, the older I get, being a dad, a husband, the less I care about having the newest thing. What excites me now is finding the gear that actually earns a permanent place in my carry. That's a much harder thing to do. And when a piece of gear finally earns that spot, that's special to me because it means it solved enough real problems to stick around. Heck, a lot of times it's this freaking battery right here saves me and my wife throughout our days. Now, if you ask me the best part of EDC today, it isn't the knives, it isn't the flashlight, it isn't the bags, it's the conversations. It's running into someone wearing a familiar bag and instantly having something to talk about. Being around like-minded folks. It's meeting the makers who are passionate about what they build. It's hearing someone's story about why a particular knife means something to them. The gear starts the conversation. The people keep it going. And I think that's why many of us stay. If you're brand new to everyday carry, here's what I want you to remember. You don't have to enjoy this hobby the way I do. You don't got to become a collector. You don't have to buy every new release. You don't have to memorize every blade steel. You don't even have to carry a knife if that's not your thing. There isn't an entrance exam to everyday carry. There isn't a checklist. The only thing you need is curiosity. Everything else comes with time. And honestly, your reason for being here today, may not be the reason 5 years from now. And that's okay, because mine has changed too. Sometimes I think we spend so much time talking about what's in your pocket or what's in my pocket. Then we forget to ask, why did we put it there in the first place? Maybe it's because we like tools. Maybe it's because we enjoy craftsmanship. Maybe it's because we like being prepared. Or maybe it's because you remember the last time your wife's phone died. She goes, "Oh, Mr. Everyday Carry." True story. Whatever reason it is, it's valid. And I think that's what makes this community so interesting. We're all carrying different gear for different reasons, yet somehow we all ended up in the same place. So this week, instead of me asking what you carry, I want to ask something different. Why did you get into everyday carry? What was it that pulled you into this hobby? I love to read your stories. I love reading all the comments in these podcast videos because I have a feeling there isn't a wrong answer. If you enjoyed today's conversation, I'd love for you to subscribe to EDC For Beginners. Some weeks we'll break down gear. Other weeks we'll explore ideas that make this hobby so interesting. And if you're looking for hands-on reviews, first impressions, bag breakdowns, all things EDC, check out my main channel, Mikeydailycarry. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out. Walk